Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
The narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump administration.
Hi, Dewald. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
All right, legends, welcome to a lazy Sunday afternoon live stream. Let me just put some background music on ever so slightly in the background. There we go. Right, legends, welcome to another live stream. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin, do some technical analysis and see, well, what are the probabilities to either move to the upside or to the downside over here? And what are those key levels that we need to watch from a shorting and from a longing perspective? Also, something very interesting that I'm noticing on some altcoins. And also, someone asked me the question last week when I did my live stream on Friday morning. Someone asked me the question, Dewald, is there a scenario where the low is in? There is a scenario where the low is in. Okay, so I want to share that scenario. A potential scenario that means that this low will be protected. Okay, and we will discuss the probabilities of that scenario and what needs to happen next for this low to be in and for price to find upwards momentum. Okay, right, legends. Remember to smash up that like button on your way in and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Let's do some technical analysis. I will go through the comments, say hi to the beautiful community. We will look at some very interesting altcoins that I'm currently keeping an eye on. As you guys can see, I do have a lot of tabs open here on top. I was looking at Rune. Ooh, we will discuss Rune. It's broken trend. It's broken trend. It's broken trend and it's going sideways. Okay, I have spoken about this type of price action during some of my previous live streams. Okay, there is momentum starting to shift here for Rune at the moment. I see AR is just, it broke. Whoops, where's my pen? Right, AR broke trend. There was another trend which it broke. There was another trend which it broke. There was another trend, and now it is breaking this trend at the moment. So some of the alts are showing some strength here to the upside. I was looking at Doge. Doge had this massive resistance which it was flirting with during the weekend. Okay, it just got rejection after rejection after rejection, and now with high volume it broke out of resistance. A potential longing opportunity that I am looking at. Definitely TP1, TP2, right? You guys get the deal. And these are some of the tokens I want to go through. I see Fala Network, Bitcoin dominance. Is it going to lose this trend here to the upside? Okay, looking at Bitcoin dominance here on the 12-hour time frame. Is it going to invalidate this 5-wave structure here to the upside and lose the trend, giving us that little bit of love back into our favorite altcoins? A lot to discuss on this lazy Sunday afternoon live stream. Let me say hi to the beautiful community. Talma, good morning, Dewald. Welcome to the live stream. Mr. Scoot, what an intro music. Yes, I love that intro song. Maybe I'll give you guys, I don't know. If I get enough likes today, I will give you guys a sneak preview of the next intro song that my brother is working on. Yeah. I would need to see a lot of likes before, because my brother will absolutely kill me. He told me, Dewald, you do not play that song until it is finished. Okay? if I get enough likes today, I will give you guys a sneak preview. Right. Ariel, welcome to the live stream. Dr. Hi, Dewald, love the intro music, news mashup. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. Hi, Dewald, the Rolling Walnut. Morning. Welcome to the live stream. Who else do we have here in the house, Mr. Scoot? Yes, please, we want to hear it. Hi. Okay, guys, let's start with the technical analysis here on Bitcoin. And maybe I'll take some altcoin requests as well towards the end of the stream. Okay, this is not going to be a long, it's going to be brief, it's going to be bright, and I'm going to be gone, right? There's still some weekend left, still want to spend some time with the family, watch a movie, maybe play a game. Okay, for those of you, I did get the question, Dewald, what is your favorite game to play? Because I did make a short video a while back to say that for me, the best way to reset my brain is to play a game on Xbox, to watch movies, to go in gym. What I have found about walking, going to gym, yes, it does get the endorphins flowing and all the rest of it, but your mind still wanders. So the only thing that really grabs my attention, where I don't even think about a Bitcoin or altcoin chart, is playing games because I'm immersed in the game. I want to win the game. You know, there's strategy behind the game, or it's watching a really good movie that grabs your attention. Okay, so for those of you that's been wondering what game is one of my favorite games, it has to be Gears of War on Xbox. It has to be Gears of War. I'm a little bit of a first-person shooter, right? Fanatic. Anyways, let's go, legends. Let's do some technical analysis. Now, okay, shall we start with the question? Someone asked the question, Dewald, can the low be in? And the answer is yes, the low can be in. There is a corrective structure that successfully counts the low to be in, right? And that little structure looks, did I actually save it somewhere? I did save it because I prepared it this morning. Was it this one? Here we go. It's this little structure over here. I'm hoping BTC will go to 91K. I think there's a chance that it could hit those levels. And right, legends, there is a count where I can successfully count a corrective structure to the downside where the low is in. I will also discuss this because once you've made a low, the next structure that forms needs to give you probabilities in terms of, is it a 5-wave impulse to the upside? No. Is it perhaps forming a contracting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC and it continues to the upside? I think there's a chance for this, right? Because these contracting can be 3-wave structures, 3-wave structures, 3-wave structures. That scenario is still a question mark. Okay, is it a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're just going to explode in the third wave to the upside? I think that scenario carries lower probabilities because each structure needs to be 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, 3 waves, 5. You guys get the point. Okay, so today we will discuss all the probabilities, but what I wanted to highlight today is specifically the question that I got last week is to say, Dewald, is there a count where the low can be in? The answer is yes, there's a count. You have a W, X, okay, and a Y to the downside, which did find its feet between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236, a very, very common Y wave target. If we started tapping the 1.382 and the 1.618, it would have invalidated this scenario. So this scenario is still intact. And all a WXY is, okay, just to refresh everyone's memory, what a WXY basically is, let me switch on the line, okay, you can have it to the upside or to the downside, is basically in the simplest form, you have an ABC in a W, a 3-wave structure. You have an ABC in an X, and you have an ABC in a Y. So it is basically made up of multiple complex corrective structures. 3-wave structure, 3-wave structure, 3-wave structure in a W, X, Y. Okay, so if those are the rules, now I can apply it to this little structure that we have formed to the downside. So inside of W, I can count an A, 3-wave B, and a C wave to the downside to complete your W. Then we have a complex corrective structure in X. You can count this as an A, B, C. It does count better as a W, X, Y, or you can have another W, X, Y inside of your X wave. So X waves can have complex corrective structures. So you have an ABC in W, you have a WXY in X, and now you have an A, B, and the B actually ends over here because you can have a B wave that has a triangle in an A, B, C, D, E to finish up your B wave. Perfectly fine. And then you have your last leg to the downside in a C wave that completes your Y. So there is a count where there is the end of the low could be in. Okay. So for that person or those people, because I also got some personal messages from people asking me, Dewald, what if the low is in? What if the market has front run the 1.236? We also have that weekly point of control slightly below. What if the market has purposefully front run this zone and it's going to force people to buy in at higher prices? Well, here is your scenario. So it's now this little structure that's forming over here that's going to be very interesting. Remember to smash up that like button. Robert, Dewald, still waiting for your analysis on. You know what? I actually caught Andy with the same thing. I'm not sure, Robert, if you were in Andy's live stream. I asked Andy in one of his live streams to please go and have a look at Ash Cream. And he fell for it. And he actually found it on Dex Tools. He actually found Ash Cream on Dex Tools. But the technicals looks horrible. Horrible. So there is an Ash Cream. Okay? There is one. Right. 15-minute time frame valid count, possibly quadruple 1-2 on BTC. Yes, Alicia Tinwali. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name properly. Yes, we're going to go, after I've gone through the larger time frame over here, I'm going to go and look at the structure. Yes, because I do see that there is the potential for a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and now we're going to rock and roll here up in a third wave. So it's all about how the structure is going to form. That's going to give us the clue whether this is a 5 wave. It has to, remember, for this to be the low, whatever is happening over here has to form a 5 wave structure to the upside. So this could be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it's just going to rip here to the upside. But then, because of this, if it rips to the upside, it has to make 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. It has to end the same way. If I see this, that retracement that corrects this structure, I am going to be buying up like a crazy person. Because remember, after a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, the structure has to correct itself. But because it's a 5 wave structure, there's a high chance that the corrective structure is going to make a higher low for continuation back to the upside. So it is this structure that's going to determine whether the low is in. For the moment, the 1-1-2 on the 15-minute time frame, as you've just highlighted, it doesn't look great. It's really difficult to count 5 wave structures to the upside. It looks more possible or plausible to still form a diagonal of some sort here to the upside. We maybe have a 1-2. This is still part of 3, 4, 5. I think a diagonal structure still looks better than a 1-1-2. 1-1-2. Yeah, I mean, if you go here onto the 5-minute time frame and you try and count 5 waves in these impulses to the upside, it's really difficult to count proper 5 wave structures. And in a 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, these little waves, you want to be able to count clear 5 wave structures. And at the moment, these impulses to the upside count better as 3 wave structures, which gives the diagonal actually a slight higher probability. Right, legends, there is also, okay, there's a possibility that this low could be in even with the larger WXY structure that I have explained here over the live, on the live stream. Okay, so let me switch the scenario off, clean up the chart, and show everyone this little structure that I have been talking about. Okay. This structure for me carries higher probability than the low just being in. Okay, well, the low is potentially still going to be in because this structure can play out in many ways. Remember, first thing you have to notice is that maybe we are forming a contracting diagonal here to the upside. What if price grinds here to the upside and it rejects? Okay. That could still be a valid X wave. Okay, that basically rejects there by E. We come back up and then we fall down for the Y. Okay, and even the Y doesn't even have to take the low. The Y can even not take the low. But I think what is important to know about corrective structures is that your lowest point of this entire structure does not necessarily mean it's the end of the corrective structure, because you can form a triangle, okay, where we now have formed an A, B, C, D, E to complete the X wave. You then go down for a Y wave that does not even have to take the low. But this is still considered the end of the corrective structure, even if you do not take the low. So what I'm trying to highlight over here is a corrective structure where the lowest point is does not necessarily mean it's the end of the corrective structure. If price continues in the bull market from this point without taking the low, the corrective structure is still counted that this is the end of the corrective structure. So what you are looking for is time. You're looking for the corrective structure to have a proportion in time. Okay. So if I go back here, and some of you might be a little bit confused, but I just want to focus on this little structure that happened. I think everyone remembers this low that was made on Bitcoin. This little low, there is a massive debate between Elliott wave counters, whether this is the low or whether this is the low. A massive debate. Okay. Most people from a simplistic perspective will say this is the low because it's the lowest point, but it does not necessarily mean it's the end of the corrective structure, because without counting the waves here in detail, you could have a W, X, and a Y wave that ended over here. So you could have a W, X, and then you could have an A, B, C, D, E, and now this is the end of your corrective structure. Not necessarily the lowest point. Okay. Right. Which actually is very interesting, because if I clean up the chart, and let's just use the argument, well, what if this was the end of Y over here? This is actually the end of the corrective structure, not necessarily the lowest point. From a timing perspective, this is now where it becomes interesting, because if I take a time flip from this pivot, okay, let me just try that again. From this pivot, okay, not from this one, from this pivot to the high that we've made. Okay, still not pretty. This low, still a bit concerning, was made after the minimum target. But like I said, legends, if the price still corrects sideways in a triangle, if you know, so you're still forming a triangle over here, which is part of the corrective structure in a W, X, Y, okay, you could still have a scenario where this is the lowest point, but the corrective structure still finishes inside from a timing perspective. Even if I take time from this pivot to the high, you can see that the low was made before the 0.382. But the corrective structure can continue sideways without taking that low, which means it actually did end after the 0.382. Okay, if I take a time flip, let's just clean up the chart over here. from the lowest point, okay, from a simplicity perspective, let's just take this out. So from a simplicity perspective, you look at the low of the structure, you look at the high of the structure, you double click your time fib, okay? And then, I mean, you know, from a simplicity perspective, you want the lowest point to be made after the 0.382, taking a fib from the lowest point to the highest point. And then, you know, one could argue from a simplistic perspective without going into detail about the corrective structure doesn't necessarily have to make a low, just has to, whatever the case might be, is most people would want to see the low made in this zone basically after the 0.382, which means that the low needs to be made after the 26th of March. Which means, in turn, okay, and this is what a lot of people are looking at, is to say that the corrective structure still needs to make one more low and then it needs to continue. Okay, it needs to make the low after the 26th of March, and it can even extend all the way up to the 4th of May, even all the way to 8th of July. Okay, so never easy, right, legends? There's not a clear answer. The answer is going to be provided in what is happening more locally. This is where the clue is going to lie. And this is now this price action that I want to analyze at the moment. Because remember, when you come to the bottom of a structure, when you've made the bottom and you want to see continuation to the upside, to go back into price discovery mode, okay, you need to be able to count 5 waves to the upside. And this is where the market makers confuse the crap out of everyone. We got a 3-wave structure. We got a 1, 2, 3. Where's 4 and 5? There was no 4 and 5. We got a 1, 2, 3. This confused the crap out of everyone, saying that because we formed a 3-wave structure here, even if we go sideways, we're most likely going to come and claim this low. And I remember doing many live streams during this price action, especially when we started this 3-wave structure. I did many live streams where I told everyone, I think the low is in. Because every single 5-wave structure has failed us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Every single 5-wave structure has failed us, and it took the low. It took the low. And then when we made a 3-wave structure, I was like, I remember doing the live stream. I'm not sure if you guys remember. I did live streams here where I told everyone, I think the low is in. Because every single 5-wave structure has failed us. Okay? And now that we're making a 3-wave structure, giving the people a higher chance that they think we're going to take the low again, I think that's the market maker's way of saying, hold on to your socks. Okay, we're going to force these people to buy in at higher prices. Because when we made this low over here, we formed a 5-wave structure. Only after this 3-wave structure was completed did we form a 5-wave structure. 3-wave structure, corrective, 5-wave structure. Okay, this was actually a diagonal. You could say this is a diagonal in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but you can count a 5-wave structure over here. So now the question is, okay, and this is now what I'm pondering, legends. This little mess that is happening over here counts way better as 3-wave structures. Which, you know, maybe, just maybe, history is repeating itself. When we made this little structure, it was the same thing from an Elliott wave perspective. How on earth can you count 5 waves in this little structure? It just looks way better as a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. 1, 2, 3 wave structure. And then we were talking about contracting diagonals to the upside, which we actually got in hindsight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, anyways, we moved up over here, right? I can't remember the exact counts, but it actually looks better as counting the structure from this point, okay? Which makes me believe that this was part of the corrective structure. This little thing over here was part of the corrective structure. the correction actually ended over here, and then we formed a 1 2 1 2, and we exploded to the upside, a double 1 2, because I can clearly count 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Okay, and now the rest is history. So legends, let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame, and now let's look at the structure that is currently forming over here. In an absolute mess. Okay, yes, on the larger time frame, just leaving it at the 1 hour time frame, one could argue, okay, 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, maybe 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, there's a way to count a 5. You have to force the 5 waves in here, but you can try and force a 1 wave in here. But you can say, okay, well, what if this is 1, this is 2, this is another 1. Okay, maybe this is a 3 wave corrective structure in another 2, this is another impulse to the upside in another 1, and now this is a 3 wave corrective structure in another 2. So you have now formed a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and but now if this is another 1 2, you want price to start ripping here to the upside. Volume needs to start increasing. You want to see some face melting price action. You want price to absolutely obliterate $90,000 to $92,000 and even as high as $94,000. Okay, you basically want price to start slowing down when you hit the highs over here. Okay, because after a triple 1 2, you want some serious price action to the upside. Okay, some really bullish price action to the upside. If price is going to continue to chop here and go down and go up, and it just keeps on ranging, it decreases the probability significantly for a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and now we're just going to rip here to the upside. But if we do, it is the correction that is the most important structure to pay attention to. Okay, guys, it's not about trying to catch the low. It's about following the clues. It's about putting the puzzle pieces together. I can tell everyone now, if price had to miraculously just lift off over here, okay, I'm going to pay very close attention to what's going to happen next. I'm not going to FOMO into the trade. I'm going to sit on my hands and I'm going to wait for what happens next. Because if price rockets here to the upside, okay, remember 1 2 1 2 1 2, you need 3 peaks, 1 2 3 peaks to the upside as well. So if I see the following 1 2 3, okay, 1 2 3, well, 1 2 3, if I see this compared to this, the structure has to correct itself. It cannot just continue to the upside. If I see this structure that I've just drawn out, this is where I'm going to pay attention. This is where the probabilities will significantly switch to this being a bullish 5-wave structure to the upside. You then significantly increase the probabilities that this corrective structure, okay, is a great buying opportunity for the bull market to continue to the upside. But I have to see this. Okay, because then you have successfully formed a triple 1 2. So you have 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 4, and then you have a larger ABC corrective structure WXY to correct the entire impulse. And this is where I'm going to pay attention. This is where I'm going to load up. This is where I'm going to build a swing position. Okay, it's the correction of this structure that's going to be very interesting. I don't care about what is happening here at the moment. I want confirmation, and I don't mind, and that's where the saying comes from, you have to be patient. Can you guys see how patient you need to be to get the confirmation that you need that your trade from a longing perspective will carry higher probability? So you're going to have to still sit on your hands and just wait for the structure to play out before you make any trading decision. Okay, especially if this is going to form a 5-way structure to the upside. But I can tell you guys now, if it does this and it falls, okay, very high chance you're going to take that low. Very high chance, okay? Because then it's not a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Where the hell is 4 5 4 5 4 5? It's not a 5-wave structure. This will then be an A, B, C to the upside, and you are going to take the low again. So it is very important that what forms after the impulse, if we're even going to get that explosion to the upside. Okay, right. I must say, it does look like this structure. I would give a diagonal a much higher probability than a double 1 2. Okay, it's also, you know, when you count this, it just has to be said for me to count 5 waves in this structure, especially when you zoom into the smaller time frames. Okay, a lot of 3-wave structures to the upside. I struggle to count impulses to the upside. In a 1 2 1 2 1 2, these moves, okay, has to be 5-wave structure. This move has to be a 5-wave structure. This one has a massive question mark. Okay, if you zoom into the 5-minute time frames, all I count is damn 3-wave structures, which tells me, well, then what if each, okay, and this is why the triangle then starts carrying higher probabilities. Okay, so if this is perhaps a 1 2 3, 1 2 3, maybe this is a 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. You know, then you can start building triangles or diagonals to the upside. This scenario for me carries higher probability because of what happened over here. Okay, so I don't know, legends, and I think for price to do this to the upside from where it is right now, for me carries low probability, but a probability nonetheless. I think there's a higher probability for price to keep on ranging, to perhaps build a diagonal, or to complete an ending diagonal for an X wave. Okay, so if I go and just switch on this scenario, right, there is 2 ways in which this X wave can end. This X wave, this is why I'm now saying, legends, this wave can shoot up to the upside. It can go in a 3-wave structure here to the upside to go and complete your X. This is going to make the world bullish. This is where people are going to FOMO in, because you can have an X wave in an ABC to the upside, and this little structure is now forming a 1 2 3 4 5 to the upside. Okay, this is why this is going to be a very important zone to pay attention to, because if price continues to fall after its claim to liquidity above these highs at $95,000, $96,000, and price continues to fall here to the downside, okay, it just depends on how high price is gonna go. But I will take a trend-based FIP, a normal FIP from this low to wherever price is gonna go, and as soon as you tap the 0.618, okay, so if price continues to grind here to the upside and it falls down and it taps the 0.618, you significantly increase the probabilities of taking this low. So I'm going to be paying attention. So I have invalidations. I know what to look out for to invalidate the structures, to increase or decrease the probabilities of taking the low or continuing to the upside. Right. Cool. Legends, remember, if you'd like to come and trade Bitcoin, links are down in the description. Weeks also has an amazing competition that's going to start in 4 days from now, right? So I'm going to be trading that $100 account. I have to admit, I haven't placed a trade there in a couple of days, but I'm going to be aggressively trading that $100 account. I might even throw in another $100 there, right, just to get the volume up. Okay, so to participate in this competition, you will form part of the bigger Bitcoin Census team, and as a team, we will trade together to stick our fingers in the cookie jar to grab up to 800,000 USDT. Okay, so the link for the competition is, this is where you sign up, right? And this is the link for the competition to go and register, which starts in 4 days. I'm going to trade there like a crazy maniac. Okay, right, legends. I also have Bluffin and Femix. up to $2,000 position airdrop, and all you need is an email and a password for these 3 exchanges. So some nice variety to the downside, and you can go and pick which one you feel best suits your trading style and needs. Me personally, I diversify my funds. I don't have all my money into one exchange, because we all know, you know, as good as the exchange might sound, there's always that thing in the back of my mind that says, I don't want to go through the same dilemma as what happened to FTX. So I diversify my funds. But these are 3 options where you only need an email and a password. Right, no documents, and where you can do some features trading. It's also your way to support the channel. Okay, cool, legends. Now, there is another scenario. Let me take this out. Okay, or let me just put this lower over here. Let me put this over here. Okay, there is a scenario. Let me just drag this up, where the X wave does not have to go this high. You could have an X wave that is forming an A, B, C, D, E inside of a triangle. I don't particularly like this scenario, because from a psychology perspective, I like this X way more. And I have, through many live streams, explained to everyone why, from a psychology perspective, I like this one. Because you create the short squeeze, people long like crazy. Where do they put their stop losses? Below these lows. Okay. You stop out everyone that believes that we are in a bear market. Their stop losses are here. There's a massive amount, billions of dollars of liquidity over here. You go and stop them out. You then create a Y wave that takes the low. Okay. From a psychology perspective, this scenario is the best scenario. Okay. From a technical perspective, it doesn't have to happen, because you could have an X wave that ends in a triangle. And then you have a Y wave that can also form a damn triangle. It would be strange to see 2 triangles in the same structure, but the highest probability for this Y wave would be to go down lower. Okay, and you need to give it some time. Right, so there is a scenario where Bitcoin keeps on grinding. It's formed an A, this is the B, it's now going up for C that basically takes the high. It rejects over here, and I will now share with you guys in a moment the level that I'm watching for this potential rejection. Very important level over here for a rejection, which I think we might get. Okay, then you go down for a D that does not take the low. You then go back up for E that does not take the high, and then you fall in a Y wave. So you're basically building a triangle in an X. Okay. From a psychology perspective, it doesn't really make sense to me, but it still carries probability, because all you're looking for in a WXY is time. You're looking for time. You want the low to be made after the 0.382 that I've just pointed out on the larger time frames. Right, so now when I take these scenarios out the way, the most interesting levels to the upside, legends, or let me call it that, the closest interesting level that I am going to keep my eyes peeled for at the moment is when you take a fib. It's very simple. Very, 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 very simple. When you take a normal fib retracement from this high, click to the lowest point of the structure, and you click. Okay? The first area of confluence that I am going to keep my eyes very peeled is the 382. Remember what I've always said, legends, when you've made either to the upside or the downside, but when you have a clear high and you have a clear low on the macro time frame, which a structure that's taken weeks, if not months, to form here to the downside, when price eventually reverses and you tap a major fib level for the first time, you usually get a really nice reaction. And this is the first zone that I will be keeping an eye on. This also aligns with the C wave in the triangle that I've just mentioned. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, and then you fall down. This aligns with that triangle situation that I've just explained to everyone. Okay, but not only does it align from an Elliott wave perspective, this little level, it's also when I take a trend-based fib, okay, and now I'm counting this structure as a potential A, how did okay, I actually do have that prepared. I don't want to rack my brain now trying to count those structures again, but here we go. Okay, there we go. You have an A, you have a B, a C, right, okay, ABC, okay, and a W, ABC, and a X, right, so that is the structure. I just wanted to see where I need to pull those fibs from. If you take a trend-based fib, okay, let's first put this fib back. There we go. You take a trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low. Okay, it really is as simple as that. So from a simplicity perspective, I just needed to find my bearings. If you take a trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low, to go and work out where can this structure potentially reject, you can see that this fib pool has been respected, because look at where we got this rejection, at the 0.618. So I can now see that the trend-based fib from this low to the high to the low is being respected, because we got the rejection at the 0.618 and a nice little reaction to the downside. That was a beautiful short trade. And then the next 786 aligns up with the 0.382. This is the first zone that looks really interesting to me. Also, when you take I think when you take a fib from this high to this low, it also aligns with the 786 round about that zone. But then even a little bit further up, you can see you have the 1-to-1 extension with a 50%. You have the 1.236 with a 0.618. You have the 1.618 together with a 786. So you can see how beautifully these fib pools lines up for confluence to the upside. But this, you know, based on where price is at the moment, this is the first zone that we need to pay attention to. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled, right? Keep your eyes peeled for this little situation over here. So the level is $89,000, 300 to 700. Right, let's see if we have some daily levels. Okay, oh, we have a daily level at the 0.618. Let me just go and see if that is a tapped daily level or a fresh level. Let's see, that is a fresh daily level. Fresh daily level. Okay, let's see how we react here, because now I can see we have a fresh daily level at the 0.618. So, you know, I'm going to just, this could be a scalp that continues, but I could take advantage of that move over there. This is the most interesting level. I just want to see if we have weekly levels above. Weekly point of control has already been tapped, so I can delete that one. I don't need it anymore. Yes, remove. And then I want to see if I have point of controls. Okay, so for that one, we're just going to have to trust the Fibonacci extensions. Right. But in a nutshell, legends, this is because we already got a rejection at this fib. It is very normal for price to smash it and go to the next area of resistance. It could have that rejection, makes a higher low, and then continue. But I would expect price to find strength above this level because it already got the rejection at the level. It is very strange for price action to find support or resistance at the same level that's already been used. Okay, but nonetheless, we have a daily level, and that could be a nice little scalp short to the downside, right? Let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. But legends, in a nutshell, remember to smash up that like button. Okay, in a nutshell, this is the most interesting zone for me. Okay, I know we have a daily level over here, right? So I will be paying attention, and I'm just going to set my alarm over there, right? A little bit below, so I can be in front of my computer before the level gets hit. I'm definitely going to pay attention. So I've got my alarm set over here, but I mean this one, the most important. have my alarm set over there as well. And then here, just before the 1-to-1 extension. Okay, once my alarms goes off, then I pay attention. So I don't have to sit and stare at the chart the whole day. Right, this is where I'm going to be looking for short opportunities. Okay, now legends, 15-minute time frame. Okay, so that's on the larger time frame what I am looking at. Okay, so just quickly on the smaller time frame, when I switch on to daily levels. Okay, and these are scalps, legends. When I go onto the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame, you look to get in, get out. Okay, these are not swing trades or trades for high confluence areas where you can keep a trade in even for 3-4 days, even a week, right? These are small little scalps. We have a fresh daily level. I want to see how price is going to react at this daily level. If we so we have now broken out of resistance. Okay, so purely from a price action perspective, I can see that we've broken out from resistance. We're currently trading above. If price comes down, it holds the area support. You've done an RS flip. So it looks like for now, price wants to continue to the upside. The only level to the upside that looks juicy is the daily level at the 0.618 FIP retracement. It's basically where we got rejected. Okay, price is going to do one of two things. It's going to reject and maybe come back down. So it will be an epic, nice little short to the downside where, you know, when you start hitting this daily level, you need to just close your position and take profits. Or it's going to smash through and this line is actually going to show us strength. So basically no trading decision as long as price is trading above your area of interest, no short. I'm not going to take a short. Okay, because it could smash through here and flip this area into support. It builds that little bull flag and it continues to the upside. Okay, you want this level to be tapped like it did there. You want the level to be tapped and for price to move away. Okay, that's a perfect swing failure pattern. I just want to see if we have point of controls to the upside. Yes, we do have actually. Okay, so I mean, this is now small little scalp trades over here, legends. I don't want to focus too much on the smaller time frames, but I mean, if you take a FIP, you know, I just do the same analysis like I do on the larger time frames. I do it here on the smaller time frames. In perfect confluence with a naked point of control, you have the 0.618. You have this consolidation area where the most amount of volume was traded. So perhaps, you know, shorting opportunity. Remember how I play these trades. If price moves up here and it rejects, price is trading below my level, I know where to put my stop loss. But now, as soon as you start hitting support, if price comes down here, this is where you take profits because you could continue. You got the trade, but it's still making higher lows. It's continuing the momentum. Maybe it rejects again. It finds support and it continues. So it's climbing the stairs to the upside, but you can take advantage of the shorts to the downside. You can leave 10 to 5% of your position open because you might get that, right? You might get a bigger rejection that just comes out of nowhere. And this is why you leave some of the position open, but you pay yourself because for now, it looks like it wants to continue to that next FIP level at $89,000, 700, 300, round about this zone. It looks like it wants to go here. Okay. But we do have our levels that we need to pay attention to. So it depends on how much time you have to trade, really. Okay. If you are a type of trader that can spend hours in front of the chart, then these are the levels. Okay. Shorting opportunity. You get in, you get out. Okay. Because it can either continue momentum to the downside, which is great, but it can reverse on you, stop you out with no profit, and then you didn't pay yourself when you started hitting support to the downside, right? So these trades need to be traded or looked at as scalps. You get in, you get out, successful trade. Okay, you get in, you get out. You get in, you get out. No reaction if price, as long as price is trading above my area of interest, no short. If price is trading above my areas of interest, no short. Okay, so you have to apply your rules. Right, so legends, those are the intraday trading setups. Something else that I quickly want to talk about. And remember, legends, the altcoins, I quickly want to go and have a look at a couple of altcoins that I am looking at the moment. Right. Obviously to the downside, okay, just want to wrap this up. If price falls, let's say we lose the RS flip, I can see the clear resistance over here. Clear resistance that we've broken out from. If it loses the support and it falls to the downside, we obviously have a fresh daily level that has not been tapped. Okay. And all you do again, you take your FIB from the low to the high. It lines up beautifully with the 786. This is where I will pay attention. This is also the maximum target. If you're looking at this structure as being an impulsive structure and this being a corrective structure, this is the maximum target where you want the bulls to hold to still being able to claim the high. Okay, we got the bounce here by the 0.618. It looks like this can be the end of the corrective structure. It ended around about the 1.236. I did measure out those corrective structures. So just quickly, okay, I just want to wrap it up here on the price of Bitcoin. If I go here onto the 5-minute time frame, now I'm really zooming in. Okay, this corrective structure looks like it could potentially be finished and price is now reversing back to the upside. I can count a completed 3-wave structure over here. If you take your trend base FIB from the high to the low to the high, we ended here between the 1-to-1 extension and the 1.236 and the 1-to-1 extension. So it's in the zone where a 3-wave corrective structure can be completed, and this is now forming impulses back to the upside. Okay, so it would be strange, very strange for price to fall down again. But again, we have the 786, a fresh daily level. Let's pay attention. Okay, also the corrective structure would become incredibly long compared to the impulse. So you really want the end to be over here. Okay, right, legends. Remember, the altcoins that I'm about to show you can be traded on Weeks, Bluffin, and Phoenix. Okay. A altcoin that looks really, really interesting. Legends win like. Mr. SGS, welcome to the live stream. Okay, maybe before I continue, guys, let me go through some comments. Bro, thanks for the Say trade a few days ago. Absolute pleasure. What is Say doing? I was looking at Fala Network. Okay, before I close this tab. Fala Network, PHA. Woo! I bought some. Okay, guys, no financial advice. You do you. You do your own research, okay? Because you might laugh at me if price continues to fall to the downside. I bought altcoins this weekend. Started buying up some spot bags again. I don't care about where Bitcoin is going to go because Bitcoin could continue bullish momentum to the upside. Bitcoin can still make that Y wave to the downside that goes all the way down to $62,000. I don't know, but some of the altcoins are showing technical strength and I am a technical trader. When I see, for example, on Fala Network, that you are breaking a trend. Price is trading outside of the trend for almost a week now. For me, that is spot buys. Okay, this is not leverage trades, guys. This is where I'm adding to my spot bags. Okay, love the price action that I'm seeing here on Fala Network. I want to see what Say is doing because, you know, I see the legend said here, Dewald, we were forming that little, let me go back here. It was on the regular that I did that analysis. Okay, I think I was stuffing around here on the 1 hour time frame. I told everyone, you are breaking a macro trend. And it's forming that little bullish pennant. Okay, I actually had it there. It's forming that bullish pennant and it looks like it wants to continue here to the upside. So I'm sure some of you played that breakout. This is a sign of strength. I added a little bit to my spot bags. I added some Say to my spot bags. I like the price action. I like the consolidation outside of the trend. I don't care if it makes some of these altcoins looks like it needs to make one more low. And that makes me a bit nervous because usually when I see a technical structure that shows me that one more low is required, you often don't get that low. because that's the market's way of forcing you to buy in at higher prices. It reverses before it needs to make that low. And I can show you guys on some altcoins where from a technical perspective, it looks like it needs one more low, which makes me believe that yes, you could still get that one more low and then it's going to continue, but it might not get the one more low. It might not get it. So I am adding to my spot bags on some of my favorite altcoins. Okay, no financial advice. Right, links are down in the description. If you would like to do your own altcoin portfolio, right? Spot bags, guys, spot bags. There's no swing trades. There's no 10x leverage trades, because we know that altcoins are here to destroy us. So I'm basically just dragging down some of my average entries on some of my spot bags. Okay. Rune, I actually cashed out completely. So I bought a fresh bag of Rune this morning. And you might be saying, Dewald, you are absolutely crazy and you are actually smoking your socks. There is FUD around Rune, but I don't like to let a good waste go to, or a good, how does that saying goes? I don't like to let a good disaster go to waste. Maybe that's the best way to say it. When I look at Rune, guys, here on the 4-hour time frame, okay, we have broken. I was watching this. Okay, I need to do this. Right, let me zoom in. The first trend that I was watching, okay, this is something that I've been talking about for very long. We haven't looked at altcoins for very long because they just dumped. Okay, no one wanted to see what their altcoin portfolios looked like. But I told everyone I will only get interested when I start seeing shift in momentum. So the first shift in momentum was we broke this trend. I did nothing. Because of all the FUD around Rune, I was like, I'm going to be patient with Rune. I really like the fundamentals of the project. I do think that they made the wrong decision to go into the lending space, and that's what's created the FUD. So potentially they are, going to focus on what they need to focus and not going to the lending space anymore. Anyways, let's just focus on the technicals. The next trend that I was watching is the bigger one over here. I want to see a bigger shift in momentum. Rune grinded against this grinded, and then it broke out. And then the most beautiful thing happened. Okay, because remember, I've told this during many of my technical updates, is that once you've broken major trends on the daily 4-hour, the larger time frames, 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour daily time frames, you want price to go sideways and trade outside of the trend. That is a bullish sign. What I personally like about Rune is how sideways it is going. Okay, for me, from a technical perspective, I love this. It is going sideways. Love it. It has broken trend, and guess what? It has even broken this trend, and it's still going sideways. So I bought a fresh spot bag this morning on Rune. Right, no financial advice, guys, but Rune can be traded on weeks, Bluffin and Phoenix, links down in the description. Right, so let's see. But with some of the alts, so Rune is actually also another example where it looks like it needs to make one more low. And the reason I say that is if I go here onto the 12-hour time frame and I just look at the corrective structure. So if I take a fib, okay, just want to make there we go. Right. Okay, so now if I take a trend-based fib from the high to the low to the high to measure the impulse here to the downside, I would have loved to see Rune tap the 786, claim the lows. Okay, stop everyone out over here. It looks like it needs to make one more low. Okay, Doge is showing me the same vibes. It needs to make one more low. Say is showing me the same vibes. It needs to make one more low. But when I saw that structure during the previous time, before we had the run here to the upside for some of the altcoins, the run here to the upside, okay, we didn't make the one more low. It just reversed and it continued to the upside. But the thing that I pay attention to the most is this, sideways. The longer it can go sideways, the better. The more bullish, the selling pressure is getting exhausted, and the longer the consolidation sideways, which is also referred to as accumulation, okay, the stronger the impulse back to the upside. It would be nice for Rune to actually not make one more low, because when you look at the structure, you can see how close. Okay, look at the white line here, is this one over here. Look at how close it is to the lows. So if Rune can continue to go sideways and it does not claim this low, the good news is this structure can then be counted as a 1 and a 2. And you could potentially still make a third explosive way to the upside if it does not claim this low. So it is literally holding on by a thread. I do like the volume that is starting to kick in here. The most volume that I've ever seen on Rune was during this dump here to the downside and inside of this accumulation zone. So just quickly wanted to point that out. Legends, I do acknowledge the fact that Rune can still go down. That's why it's spot bags for me. I will add a little bit more. Okay, if it doesn't go down and it actually shows strength here to the upside, depending on the structures that form, I might add a little bit more. Okay, especially if you start breaking market structure. So if I go back here onto the 4-hour time frame, I will tell you now where I will add more. Okay, I will add more, and you might think that I'm crazy once we claim this high. Once Rune goes back up and it claims this high and it makes a higher high, you're starting to change larger time frame structure. Once I see this and it starts going down for a correction, this is where I will add more. Not now. If we go down, that's where I will add more. But if we keep on going sideways and it finds upwards momentum and it makes a higher high, it's the retracement that I'm interested in. This is where I'm going to add more to my spot bags. Not as it's moving to the upside, because it could still make a lower high and then continue the structure to the downside. Okay. Right. Another coin that I was looking at is Doge. Oh, Doge. Doge is breaking out. Okay, let's go here onto, you guys can see I've been tracking this like a crazy person. Doge looks very, very strong for some reason. Okay, let me make this trend thicker. Okay, it's also breaking out from a macro trend. You can see where the trend is coming from. From the tippy top over here, okay, just tracking the momentum here to the downside. From the price action all the way from January this year, up until where it is now breaking out. Now when I go into the 15-minute time frame, this is where it's becoming interesting to me, and this is where I've added some to my spot bags. Okay, first thing where I added was this little bull flag. Okay, I added some there, bought a little bit over there. We broke out from this bull flag because I wanted to catch the breakout before the breakout. Okay, then we had this bullish pennant. Look at the bullish pennant. Okay, we broke out. Then you have clear resistance above. We broke out. Okay, I actually highlighted this trade in our Legends Pro community this morning when we were here. I said, guys, pay attention. Stop goes below the low. TP1, TP2. Right, so for the pro members here in the community or on the live stream, just remember TP1, TP2, because you might reject here and then continue down. Right, so it has to be a TP1, TP2. And this, I also do have a small leverage trade. Small leverage trade, but very good risk management. And I've already de-risked myself, and I've put my stop loss below this low. But from a larger time frame perspective, this is also where I added a little bit more to my spot bags. Okay, what I do like about the daily time frame on Doge, for example, is that it just looks so much like it wants to form a 1-2, 1-2, and it wants to go up here for a face melting wave here to the upside, because this low is still so far away from this low. Okay, so even if Bitcoin goes to $68,000, it's highly likely that Doge will not claim that low and the structure will remain bullish, even if it comes down a little bit further. There's a high chance that it will still form a higher low, keeping the bullish structure over here and exploding here in a third wave. Okay, so now something that I wanted to show everyone is that if I zoom into this structure, okay, let me make sure that I'm on the log scale, on the normal scale. If I take a fib from the low to the high, okay, and I also want to measure out the corrective structure. So it's a fib from the high to the low to the high. Okay, now I have all my levels. And interestingly, okay, the 1.236 is a very common corrective structure target, which we've just tapped. So there's a chance that this low could be in for Doge. And this is why I'm adding to my spot bags. Okay, I don't care about Bitcoin. I trade the chart in front of me. I think it was when I switched to the log scale where I saw that it would be nice to go and make one more low. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is where I saw it. Okay, let me just make sure that I've got my levels. Okay, you can also see that Doge from a log scale perspective tapped the 0.6, the golden pocket. It found support inside the golden pocket. It also tapped the 1.618 from a log scale perspective. Okay, and this is why I think there could be one more low. If Doge comes back down and it taps the 786 at 11 cents, also the 2 fib extension is a very common, or is not so common, but it's still a target for a corrective structure. The 2 fib with a 786. Okay, this is why I think there's one more low that it could make to still keep the bullish structure intact, but it might front run. I mean, it is inside the golden pocket. It has tapped the 1.618. On the regular scale, it has tapped the 1.236. There are evidence that, you know, this is where you need to start accumulating. For me, at least from a technical perspective, that's where I want to start accumulating. Okay, it's a very interesting zones when you start tapping some major corrective targets. Right, so legends, that's basically the altcoins that I wanted to highlight at the moment. Dominance, I mean, it would be nice if we can start losing some dominance over here. There's still the chance that we go up here for a fifth wave. Okay, 65, 66%, then we reject to the downside, or we lose the trend and we invalidate this bullish structure. Because the thing about this 5-wave structure that I don't like, okay, and some people will look at the structure and say, yes, it does look like we are going up back to 66% over here. But remember, when you make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what do you get after an impulse? Okay, this is the bad news. If we make a 5-wave structure here to the upside, the bad news is you might get this. And then we continue back to the upside. This is going to be a very short-lived alt season. If price can lose the trend without making this 5th wave, then I will look at this as an A, B, C. Okay, then we could really aggressively fall to the downside. Right, legends, and remember the links for the for the exchanges that I use, where I am opening up my swing position, the one Doge trade, and adding to my spot bags. Okay, Weeks, Bluffin, and Femix. All you need is an email and a password. It's where you qualify for the biggest sign-up bonuses, lowest trading fees, and we also have the Weeks competition running at the moment. To register for the competition, here's the link to go and register for the competition. We will all form part of the Bitcoin Census team, and we will compete for our share of up to $800,000. Okay, right. Cool, let me go through some comments. Just want to see who's here. Elizabeth, let's do some XRP. I know Elizabeth has been asking me for XRP, so for Elizabeth, here we go. Right, and for some other people, right? Rune, XRP, please. Right, let's go and have a look at XRP. It's going to be easier just to go and search for it. XRP. Here we go. I just want to see where we are. Okay, you guys can see it's an absolute mess here. I was doing some homework and some Elliott wave counts here on XRP. Okay, I just want to see, well, what are the probabilities? Can we go higher? In a nutshell, okay, I can go through the history of XRP over here. I can go and explain everything that happened in this little structure over here. Okay, but I mean, we were talking about this structure inside of my live stream for quite some time. Okay, where we have formed the A, B, C, D, E, and then this is where I got interested. Okay, I bought XRP. You guys know I did take a lot of profit to the upside already. I still have a small little bag running. I bought XRP on the 5th of August. Over here. This is where I bought XRP. Okay, but now what's interesting to the upside. Okay, let me take the box out. Guys, I know it looks like a mess, but I just, quickly, let's switch off some of the lines that will clean up the chart. Okay, let's switch off some of these lines. Okay, I know that some people are counting this structure in various different ways, but what I can see over here is, for me, what makes sense, which is more conservative. Okay, you have formed a 1, 2. This could be a 3, and this is still part of the 4, and we're now going up for the 5th wave, which will then form your bigger 1. Okay, so you basically have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a wave 1. Then you still need to go down for a wave 2, and then you need to go back up for a wave 3, right? I know there's a couple of other ways in which you can count the structure as well, but they all come to the same conclusion. Okay, and maybe I'll share during a different live stream next week what are some of the other scenarios as well, because inside of wave 3, okay, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it looks like XRP still wants to go and make another 5th wave here to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this could potentially be 4 that's ending in a triangle. Okay, so you have a 3, you have a 4 that ends in a triangle, and then it goes up for a 5th wave. And the target that I've always spoken about for XRP, okay, and I remember very clearly, and I'm not sure if you guys remember, I'm sure Elizabeth remember, when we made this high, I told everyone, please be very careful, okay? I don't think it's just going to do this, right? It needs to go sideways. It needs to go and form a 4th corrective structure. This 4 is most probably in here, or it's going to make one more low, or it could be in, right? But the target that I'm watching at the moment is to say that there's a chance that XRP can still go up to go and complete your 5th wave, and it has a target of $6.5. Okay, so that is the bullish structure that I see currently here for XRP. And this is the dangerous part, because I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you get after a 5-wave structure? You get a correction. Okay, so can XRP go higher? Yes. Are we going to make a larger correction? I don't know, but it looks like we could be finished with the 5-wave structure once we hit the maximum target for the 5th wave, which is $6.5. So I know long term people are still extremely bullish on XRP, but guys, nothing goes up in a straight line and just continues in a straight line. Everything goes up in waves. I wouldn't be surprised for XRP to reject that $6.5. It forms a 3-wave structure in wave 2 that comes back all the way down to 61 cents. And then it goes up for an explosive wave in a 3rd wave. Okay, then you make a 4. I just want to zoom out ever so slightly to show you guys the... Okay, let's go here onto the 3-day chart. Okay, so this is the structure that I am looking at. Let me just not move my stuff around. I want to extend that. I want to bring that up. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the structure that I'm looking at. After your corrective structure, after your corrective structure, look at the macro time frame. Okay, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are now busy with your fifth wave to the upside. Inside of your fifth wave, you have 5 waves. Okay, now I zoom in here. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we are now only busy with the first leg inside of wave 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've made wave 1, you typically get a 3-wave corrective structure. Maximum target 786 fib. It can be as low as the 0.382 when you take a fib from the low to the high of the structure. Okay, the minimum target is usually a 0.382. It can go as deep as the 786. So we don't know how deep this corrective structure is going to go. Right, then you go up for 3, which is the most explosive wave, and this 3 can really rock and roll to the upside because it's only the third waves that are the most explosive, the most aggressive. I do not know if, well, let me put it differently. Number 3 and 5 over here is most likely not going to play out during this cycle. Okay, if the bull market is still going to continue up until the end of the year, I would expect at least this one to be done. And this is going to be our bear market in wave 2. Right, so this correction can take up to 13 months, a whole year for this correction to take place. I seriously doubt that during this cycle, before the end of the year, we're still going to have time to do a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5. There's not. Remember, I'm here on the 3-day chart, right? This goes up into 2026, 27, right? This fifth wave. So I'm expecting, from a conservative perspective, and I have to admit, the target that I have here for $6.5 is a conservative target, but it's a realistic target. People talking about $20, $30, $50 XRP, they are smoking their socks. Yes, you could have a $50 XRP, but not this year. It's almost impossible. Can you imagine the market cap, right? It's going to be bigger than Bitcoin. And some people will say, yes, it is going to be bigger than Bitcoin. You don't know all the conspiracy theories around XRP. I mean, there's been conspiracy theories around XRP for the last 5 years already, okay? Guys, I just like to keep my head straight, flat on the ground, be realistic. I'm expecting still a wave 1. Yes, can it extend a little bit higher? Yes, it can still extend a little bit higher. But realistically, for this cycle, I'm expecting a $6.5 XRP. I think that's a realistic target, where you formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After this wave, we go into a bear market. Let's just be realistic, okay? So if you want to invest in XRP, there's a little trend forming, there's a little bull flaggy forming over here. You can wait for the breakout, okay? Or you could start accumulating. There's a high chance that it will hold this zone and still make a high before it makes a low. There's a high chance. Never a guarantee. Okay. So for me, it's not a place where I want to buy XRP because I've bought a little bit lower. I think there are altcoins that still shows way more excess potential to the upside because XRP has already run so much. Another coin I want to go through tomorrow, guys, is Litecoin. Litecoin looks absolutely insane from a bullish perspective. Its Elliott wave counts looks, okay, if I look at Litecoin, it looks like Litecoin is over here. And it still needs to do all of this that XRP is already almost done with. Litecoin looks explosive. So I don't have enough time today, but I want to take you guys through that dinosaur coin, Litecoin, maybe tomorrow. Okay, we can go and have a look at Litecoin. It looks absolutely amazing. Right, cool legends. Remember to smash up the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe. Okay, thanks for you diving into XRP for me. It's an absolute pleasure, Elizabeth. Can we see Doge at the same price as Bitcoin? No. Maybe not. I don't think in my lifetime. Okay, guys, you have to think about market cap. And I'm sure some of the experienced traders here with me will agree, okay? If Bitcoin has, for example, if Bitcoin has $1 trillion market cap of a price of around $84,000, okay? And Doge has a market cap, okay, let's do this. Let's go here onto, I think there was a tool. I need to share that tomorrow. Coin market cap. It's this is actually such a funny story, guys. I think I need to do a tutorial on this. I'm not going to be able to finish it all today, okay? It does not mean the cheaper a coin is, the higher it can go, okay? If Doge is in the cents, or if a specific altcoin that you are looking at is selling at $1 per token or 50 cents per token, and you look at Bitcoin, which is $84,000 per Bitcoin, okay, it doesn't mean the cheaper the coin is, the more potential it has to the upside. It's all got to do with market cap. It's all got to do with market cap. So if you have one apple, okay, this is the best way that I can explain it. Right, and for the experienced traders, I know you guys know this, okay, but there's a lot of new people that don't understand this. If you have one apple or one circle, okay, and this company, this is a company, okay, this is a company, right, but they decide they want to divide their company or the apple into 1,000 pieces, and they go and split it into 1,000 pieces. They cut it, they cut it, they cut it until there's 1,000 pieces, and they sell each piece, okay, at $1. That's their price that they list at. They go and list at $1. $1, which values the company at $1,000. Because there's 1,000 slices, each slice is worth $1. If the same company says, okay, no, we're going to break it up into 10,000 pieces, okay, but the valuation of the company is still $1,000. That's the market cap of the company. They can go and break up this apple into as many pieces as they want. The more pieces they break it up into, the cheaper it will become, but the overall valuation is still $1,000. So the coin might look cheaper because they've sliced the apple into more slices, but it's still valued at $1,000. Okay, I hope this explanation makes sense. I will go and spend some more time on it during next week. Right. Anyways, legends, you know, if you look at the market cap, let's go look at the market cap of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 1.6 trillion. Okay, if I can just, it looks like 1.6 trillion over here. Ethereum is 2 billion. Sure, Ethereum has a lot of catching up to do. Okay, Doge, where's Doge? Doge is 250 million. Anyways, there's a tool. I need to go and find the tool that you can go and type in. If Dogecoin sells at $100 per token, it will tell you what the market cap needs to be. Okay, and some of these tokens where people believe that they need to buy a token for, you know, a cheap token equals more profit at the end of the day, it's all about market cap. As soon as the company starts exceeding the market cap of Bitcoin, okay, so in essence, I think an easier way to explain it is that everyone calling for a $30 XRP, you are smoking your socks, because it has to overtake Bitcoin to reach that market cap. to reach a market cap where the token becomes $30 per token. It's just, you have to calculate it from a market cap perspective, basically the valuation of the company. Anyways, legends, that is basically all I have time for today. Remember to smash up that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. The exchanges that I use are the links down in the description where you qualify for the biggest sign-up bonuses, lowest trading fees, and there's also that week's competition running at the moment. 4 days left until the competition starts. Make sure that you go and register. Thank you all so much for joining the live stream here on a lazy Sunday afternoon in South Africa. I'll see you all in the next one. Just for now.